Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning to each and every one of you this morning. Welcome to the Traveling Tarot. This is your daily psychic forecast for Sunday, October 7th, Sunday, October 6th, 2018. Dates here the last couple of days have been throwing me off, but this is the 6th, and it is our love reading today. My name is Stephen Dillard Carroll. Hi, how you doing? But today is our love reading today. Yay! It's time for some good old-fashioned love in our lives, and for that I am grateful. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I appreciate all your support. And if you know of anyone who could benefit from some encouragement, enlightenment, empowerment, emboldenment, if that's even a word, and some good old-fashioned unconditional love, do share this video with them. We are all about unconditional love on this channel, not just on Sundays when we give our weekly forecast for love, but every day. We are all about unconditional love on this channel. So please do share this video to anyone who you think could benefit from that. So let's jump into it. Again, this is our weekly love forecast. We do it every Sunday, so let's get into it. This is a reading for the collective today, and my hope is that, like every day, you can glean something from each and every one of my readings, regardless of your current circumstance in life. And my prayer is that when you finish this video, you feel emboldened, you feel empowered, you feel encouraged, you feel enlightened, you feel ready to take on the world, to make good and positive changes in your own life so that you can live the best life possible for you. So, without any further ado, let's get into today's reading, today's story. Today's story is brought to, it's about to be brought to us by a card, but we have a main plot line that runs through our story today. It's what we will be focusing on in general for this reading, and then we'll have two subplots for today that will hopefully inform and inspire the reading, and also give a little bit of depth and color to the reading. So let's jump right into it. Our main plot line, our main thoroughfare, if you will, is brought to us today by the Ten of Ariel. Okay, the Ten of Ariel making her first debut, or her debut. We haven't had the Ten of Ariel in any of our readings since I started the channel. So we welcome the Ten of Ariel, and this is our main plot line. Our Ten of Ariel, of course, is represented by the Ten of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite deck. But there we are. There's the Ten of Ariel, and I love it already. There is so very much to be grateful for. Financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. I really like that first sentence. There is so very much to be grateful for. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Wow. Yeah. I mean, that is a powerful punch right there at the very first sentence. There is so very much to be grateful for. Part of that is financial success and the promise of retirement and a rich and rewarding family life. It can also be a part of that as well. So we will definitely be focusing in on gratefulness today. Absolutely 100% being focused in on gratefulness today. But we have two more subplots to work through as well and see if they give any information or insight into what we have started with our main plot line today. So our first subplot is being brought to us by the Four of Michael. I think we may have had this card once before in our readings, but there's the Four of Michael. And it says, insights that come from quiet meditation. By the way, the Four of Michael is the Four of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck. So it says, insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. Okay. I like that very first sentence, insights that come from quiet meditation. Yeah, I really, really like that. So we'll explore that as well as it pertains to gratefulness. So anyway, let's get on to our third subplot for today. And our final subplot for today, or our second subplot, I should say, not our third subplot, but our second subplot for today. And that is being brought to us today by the Page of Gabriel. The Page of Gabriel. And the Page of Gabriel is energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. So there we go, the Page of Gabriel. And I think this has perhaps something to do with the promise of retirement that we saw in the Ten of Ariel. The Page of Gabriel, of course, is the Page of Wands in the Rider-Waite deck, but I have the feeling that this has a lot to do with financial success and the promise of retirement. So let's dive into it. The Ten of Ariel. There is so very much to be grateful for. Financial success and the promise of retirement, a rich and rewarding family life. I get the feeling that there's somebody out there that needs to hear you need to be grateful every day. You need to say thank you every day. You need to find 10 things to be thankful for each and every day, as the Ten of Ariel states. I'm being told to do numerology, so we've got the 10 plus 4, which equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5, and 5 is a movement card. It's the transition card between 1 and 4 and 6 and 10. It's a tilting point. It's a moving forward point, and so being grateful and being thankful is actually an action. It's actually a movement. When you are grateful, you're actually moving forward in your spiritual evolution. And there may be some of you out there that feel as if you don't have a lot to be grateful for. That's not necessarily true. There may be some of you out there that have been beaten down by life. There may be some of you out there that feel as if life has dealt you a raw hand. There may be some of you out there that feel as if life has been unnecessarily unkind to you. I don't think that is the case, even if it feels like it sometimes. There may be some people out there that are hurting today because because life has been so painful for them today. If that is you, I encourage you and I even challenge you to say thank you. Not in the not in the sense of somebody slaps you and you'd say, "Thank you, sir, may I have another?" But in the way of, "Thank you for giving me today to make a difference. Thank you for giving me today to make a change. Thank you for giving me today to work it out. Thank you for giving me another chance, another opportunity to make things better for myself." You know, a lot of our pain and suffering in life has to do with our, how do I want to say? A lot of our pain and suffering has to do with our perspective. A lot of our pain and suffering has to do with our attitude. A lot of our pain and suffering has to do with how we are viewing our lives as a whole. If we believe that our life is worthless, if we believe that we are not making any kind of difference, if we believe that we are just taking up space, then that's exactly what we are doing. Just taking up space. If we believe that our life is worthwhile, if we believe that we have something important to give, important to share, and important to live, if we believe that our life is, at the end of our life, we will have something that will be able to be shared and passed on from generation to generation, which is what the Ten of Ariel is also about, then our life will reflect that. Our life will absolutely reflect that. So take some time today to be grateful. If even, again, and this is for the people out there that feel as if life has repeatedly kicked them in the teeth, and they feel as if life has been completely unkind and completely unfair to them. If that is you today, say thank you. Thank you for giving me another opportunity. Thank you for giving me another day to make a difference. Thank you for giving me another day to make a good and positive choice in my life to move me forward, even if it's just one step forward. Now, the flip side of that is there are maybe some people out there that have reached a plateau in their spiritual lives. They have reached a kind of a holding pattern, a kind of treading water kind of a thing, wherein you're not moving forward, but you're not necessarily moving backwards, and you're just kind of stuck there, you know. And it's okay for a little while, because we all need our spiritual trajectory. No one's spiritual trajectory is straightforward, you know, straight up the mountain. You know, we always move around and zigzag and up, down, around and through and all around. Our journey is very much of that kind of a thing. But every once in a while, and because of that, we every once in a while we'll reach a plateau. And in general, that is the universe saying, okay, let's take a break, let's take a breather. Let's allow ourselves room to breathe at this moment, allow ourselves to decompress a little bit, allow ourselves to incorporate and internalize and integrate what we have learned so far. So those plateaus that we reach in our spiritual lives are actually very useful to us, because it gives us a chance to give ourselves a break, and it gives us a chance to reflect and to, again, integrate everything that we have learned into our lives. And but then there comes a point wherein it's time to move forward. it's time to, increase what we are doing. But sometimes we get stuck in that plateau of things, and we may not know how to make that next step so that we continue to slowly move up the mountain. Being grateful is a great way to actually kickstart our spiritual lives again. Taking time out every day to say thank you. Myself, for instance, every morning when I wake up, when I decide, and I've said this before, every morning when I wake up and I decide that I'm not going to roll over and fall back asleep, I start the day by saying thank you. I say thank you over and over and over again. Thank you, 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 thank you. I'm not saying thank you for a specific thing. I'm just giving a general thank you because I am thankful in general. And then I do my I love me unconditionally chant for 25 minutes. And then I end with another 5 minutes of thank you over and over again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So it adds up all together. My morning meditation slash chant slash personal time is spent, 35 minutes of it is spent in thankfulness and loving myself unconditionally. Do that every morning. So during the day, I mean, you don't have to do it the way that I do it. That's very specific to me. If it works for you as well, fantastic, but find your own way. For me, saying thank you every morning and saying thank you throughout the day, it works for me, and it's actually allowed me to move forward in my own spirituality. If you have reached a plateau, maybe that's something that you need to do as well. Finding moments throughout the day to take a moment and say thank you. One of the other things that I do, and this might be good for you guys, and I think I've told you this before, I set my alarm for 11:11 a.m. and 11:11 p.m. and 12:34 a.m. and 12:34 p.m. every day. 11:11 because it's the only sequential time, or it's the only time during the day that is all one number, and it's all 4 spaces. So 11:11. And except for in military time, but we don't count military time. But also with 12:34, it's the only time of the day that all 4 numbers are in sequence. 12:34. Again, we're not talking about military time. We're just talking about civilian time of 12:34. So we've got 11:11 and 12:34, both AM and PM. So 4 times a day. So even if I don't do the thank you in the morning, which, that's kind of become muscle memory for me in the morning time. But should I forget to do that in the morning time, I have 4 times a day wherein my alarm on my clock actually goes off, and it reminds me, I need to take a minute to say thank you. And so I do. And so for those of you out there that, forget to say thank you throughout the day, set your alarm on your phone for whatever time works for you. Set your alarm for at least twice a day, once every 12 hours, to say thank you. That way, for 2 minutes a day, you are saying thank you. Once at a particular time in the morning or afternoon, or however you do it, and then once again 12 hours later. It's effective, and it's a very simple thing that anybody can do. So I encourage you, regardless of your spiritual circumstance right now, whether you are, on the low end of, I feel horrible and terrible and life has, been horrible and terrible to me, or whether you're on the other end of life okay, I don't know how to restart or kickstart my spiritual existence. Saying thank you every day is such a good way of doing that. Let's move on. Financial success and the promise of retirement. The Ten of Ariel Pentacles, which is the Ten of Pentacles. Pentacle cards, as I've said before, are very much involved in our physical lives, our material lives, and our health. It's very much the physical plane. Anything that we can, the five senses, see, touch, hear, taste, and, oh gosh, whatever the fifth sense is, the Pentacles are very much about that. And so there may be someone out there that is wondering, how they're going to make it to retirement. And if perhaps there may be some people out there that are worried, is retirement a good option for me? Because when I retire, my income is going to be cut. And I'm going to have to live on some sort of fixed income. Is retirement a good idea for me? The Ten of Ariel is saying yes. Financial success and the promise of retirement. The Ten of Ariel is definitely telling you that you will be able to make it in your retirement age. And especially for those of us that are, knocking on retirement's door, that's a blessing for us to say, oh, I will actually be able to make it on a fixed income of some sort, and I will be able to live, and I will not only be able to live, but I'll be able to thrive. Financial success and the promise of retirement. So it's basically giving you the blessing that, and for those of us that are not quite near retirement, I'm about 20 years away. Or I should say, about 20 years away from retirement age. Watch how we're spending our money. Watch how we are working towards retirement. Are we putting things away for retirement? Are we doing our due diligence as far as, making sure that we have a good, nice nest egg when we finally get to retirement age? Because time moves quickly. I say that, I'm about 20 years away from my retirement age, but the next blink of an eye, all of a sudden, I'm 67 years old, and I'm looking around and I'm like, okay, it's time to retire now. Have I made the choices that I needed to make sure that I have a good and nice retirement? The Ten of Ariel, for those of us that are a little further away from retirement, the Ten of Ariel is encouraging us to make sure that we are doing what we need to do to make sure that we have a nice little nest egg for ourselves when we retire. And for those of us that are closer to retirement age and are knocking on retirement's door, the Ten of Ariel is blessing us to say, you've done what you needed to do. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay on that fixed income. And not only are you going to be okay, but you're going to be thriving on that fixed income. And finally, a rich and rewarding family life. The Ten of Ariel, Ten of Pentacles, is all about legacy and what you pass on to your children and to your grandchildren and to your great-grandchildren. And also, your legacy as far as your circle of influence. The Ten of Ariel is always giving us the blessing of you're doing something right, and you're within your circle of influence, you're going to influence a lot of people in a lot of good, and your legacy will be one of love, hopefully. If you are living your life with unconditional love, which you should be, then you will pass that legacy on to other people. The Four of Michael, insights that come from quiet meditation. Again, I think this has to do with the whole being thankful thing. Thankfulness. It's important for each and every one of us to spend time each and every day in meditation and thankfulness. Our meditation could be thankful, saying thank you over and over again, or naming 10 things that we are thankful for and focusing in on those 10 things and saying, this is why I'm thankful for these things. 20 minutes a day, that would be 2 minutes apiece, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, 2 minutes apiece. Take 2 minutes apiece for 10 things that you feel thankful for, and focus in on those things, and focus in on why you are thankful for those 10 things. 20 minutes a day, it's a beautiful thing to do. The Four of Michael is really, really encouraging us to get those insights from quiet meditation. The need for more sleep or time off, practical. Practical. There is somebody out there that just needs to take some time off, and I understand that you have bills upon bills upon bills upon bills, and you have responsibilities upon responsibilities upon responsibilities, but at the same time you need to take time for yourself. Again, and it can be as little as 20 minutes a day. The need for more sleep or time off, taking 20 minutes a day to decompress might be all you need in order to refresh yourself every day. Of course, the need for more sleep. Sleep is like religion to me. I love it. I love a good nap. It's fantastic. And so yeah, the need for more sleep or time off, it's just practical. There might be somebody out there that's listening or watching today that needs to take more time off and not worry so much about what you're leaving behind, because so many of us are so caught up in our work situation and the need to get things done that even when we take vacation time, all we're doing is we're focusing in, we're stressing in on work, we're stressing about what we're leaving behind and the mountain of work that will be waiting for us when we get back from vacation. We need a vacation from our vacation. It's very important, again, to take time for yourself each and every day. When you clock out at work, or when you close the door to work, or when you go down the elevator and hop into your car, leave work behind. It is so very important to leave work behind. And I know that that's may not be as possible for some people as other people, because work follows you. There has to be a balance there. There has to be some sort of balance. And then, the last thing the Four of Michael says is seeking relief from stress. If work follows you home, all you're doing is stressing. That's all you're doing all day long, is thinking about work. And even when you're not at work, you're thinking about work. How stressful is that? How worrisome is that? You are aging yourself far beyond what you should be. I really encourage you, if work is that stressful to you, to figure out a balance for yourself. And part of that balance is a meditation practice. I really do encourage everyone today to take that to heart. The Page of Gabriel: energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. So I think this is connected to the 10 of Ariel, a rich and rewarding family life, financial success, and the promise of retirement. Boom. Thank you, universe. The quickest way to get old and die when you retire is to sit around the house and do nothing. I know plenty of people who have retired and have passed away just a couple of years later because all they did was sit around and do nothing. It's important to stay engaged. It's important to stay involved. It's important not to detach yourself from the goings on of the world. And it's important for us never, ever, ever to hermitize ourselves, if that's even a word. I actually know someone, I know a couple of people, in fact, that after they retired, they got involved in community theater. They said that it was their way to stay involved and it was their way to stay engaged. And not only that, but learning lines kept their mind engaged. learning lines and learning your blocking and all of that, everything that goes into acting, especially if your role in a particular play or musical is big, you have to learn a lot of lines, and you have to learn where your blocking is, and you have to learn how to engage and connect with each other. It's a mind thing, and I know at least one person that said the only reason why I got into acting is to keep my mind sharp. And what a brilliant, brilliant thing. If you are nearing retirement, find a way to keep your mind engaged. That does not include sitting in front of the television and watching cable news all day long, because there's plenty of retired people that I know that sit in front of the television and watch CNN, MSNBC, or Fox News on a consistent loop. That does not keep your brain engaged. What keeps your brain engaged is reading. What keeps your brain engaged is engaging with other people. What keeps your brain engaged is expanding upon what you already know to be true, and being open-minded enough to accept different viewpoints, different ideas, and different ways of life. That's what being engaged with people and being engaged with life is what's going to keep you young for a very, very, very long time. And the other thing is following your passion. I feel like this has to do with people that are retired or are about to retire. When you retire, you have plenty of time to focus in on what makes you happy. Follow that. Do that. Find a passion and do that. Keep yourself engaged. It's so very important to keep yourself engaged. Especially the older that we get, we go into routines, and we find a routine that is comfortable for us, and we stick to it. And it gets harder to break those routines the older that we get. It's important for us to continue to develop new passions, to develop new interests, to develop new things to keep ourselves engaged. There is somebody out there that needs to hear that today, that needs to know that, yes, you may be retiring, but that does not mean that you should sit on your butt all day and do nothing. Maybe for a few months, I think that's wonderful. Maybe even up, a year is pushing it. A few months, maybe 6 months at the most, say I'm going to sit around and do nothing, and I am going to watch Fox News, I'm going to watch MSNBC, and I'm going to watch CNN on a consistent loop for 6 months. And then once that's over, then it's time to engage. That's fine, but no more than 6 months. No more than 6 months. Do not allow yourself to disengage too much, or else you get old and you die really, really quickly. So, there we are. Now, this was supposed to be our love reading today. What's interesting is, this is all about loving yourself. This has nothing to do with romantic love. This has nothing to do with intimate love. It has everything to do with loving yourself. And I'm okay with that today. I am 100% okay with this particular reading today, because it was all about loving yourself. And as Mama Ru says, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to be able to love how in the hell are you going to love anybody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Amen. So, yeah, it's been about unconditional love today, about loving yourself enough to do what's right for you. I think it's brilliant. And it's okay, and I'm good with it today. So let's get into the nitty-gritty today. We're going to do 3 cards, morning, midday / afternoon, and an evening card. And we're going to see if the universe has anything more specific that it wants to share with us regarding our day today. So, here we go. Morning, afternoon, and evening. Okay. So our morning is brought to us by the Seven of Wands, but the Seven of Wands is in the reverse position, unfortunately. And generally, what this means is a feeling of being overwhelmed. And we've been talking about that a little bit today with people who feel as if, life has been exceptionally unkind to them. It can certainly feel like an overwhelming kind of a feeling to some of us. And if that's the case, I understand. Life can be very difficult for all of us, but exceptionally difficult for some of us. And I encourage you again, this is just saying, be thankful. Be thankful. Say thank you. And the thing about saying thank you and being thankful is when you are thankful, the universe gives you more to be thankful about. No, you don't say thank you in order to get something. It's just a natural and wonderful side effect of being thankful is the universe says, well, you're welcome. Here's something else. Oh, you're welcome for that. Here's something else. Oh, you like that? Well, here's a whole ton of stuff to be thankful for. So the universe is like that. You don't say thank you in order to get things. It's just a natural side effect of just being thankful. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed this morning, just say thank you. It may feel weird. It may feel even wrong, but say thank you. Don't be thankful for anything in particular. Just say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Make it a chant. Make it a mantra. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And you'll be surprised how the rest of your day goes. And speaking of the rest of the day, let's jump into our midday/afternoon card. It is the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords can sometimes mean being honest with yourself, starting a new venture, starting a new idea, having an idea and believing in that idea. Again, for those of us that are nearing retirement age, the midday for today might be a good time to say, okay, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? What do I want to accomplish? Is there a idea or hobby or pastime that I want to explore? Is there something other than that I want to explore and see where it takes me? This afternoon might be a good time to explore that and give yourself the opportunity to come up with some really, really good ideas. And finally, the evening card is our Knight of Wands. There we are. The Knight of Wands. And this is saying be creative. Take those ideas and then begin to put them into motion and be creative with it. Think outside the box with it. You are resilient. You are strong. You are flexible. You are somebody who can make things happen, and you are protected, which is what those salamanders are on the Knight of Wands. It's important for us, if you have an idea, to move forward with it and then start being creative with it. Start being creative. Again, figuring out ways to engage your mind. Being creative is a great way to engage your mind each and every day. I have an idea, let's get creative with it. Let's build something interesting and wonderful and wacky and wild and woolly and wonderful. There we go. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. It's not a romantic reading today, and I don't apologize for it. There's somebody out there that needs to know to love themselves. So, there we go. Let's move on to our affirmator, and we will do a love and relationships affirmator today, simply because today is all about love. So, we will definitely do this today. We'll shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. You know, it's very interesting. I ask the universe always to point me in the right direction. I always say my good and positive intent for this reading today is to reach as many people as possible, to teach as many people as possible, to unconditionally love as many people as possible, and to help as many people as possible. And however the cards land is how the cards land. And today it wasn't about romantic love. It was about loving yourself, and what a wonderful thing to do, to love yourself. So, with that in mind, our affirmator for today is compliments. Okay, compliments. And it says, I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it, in which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it, in which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a compliment puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. I think this has to do with, again, in making sure that you're engaging with the world. Do not separate yourself from the world. Do not disengage from the world. Keep yourself involved in the world around you so that you don't grow old and die quickly. Also, the love you give yourself is the love that you give to other people. And that is so very true. And by complimenting people, you are sharing a little bit of that love. And why not, right? Why not? Share love today. Share the love you give to yourself. Share that love with other people. And the best way to give unconditional love is to love yourself. Love yourself fully. Love yourself completely. Love yourself wholly. Love yourself unconditionally. Love yourself first and love yourself foremost, and everything else will fall into place. Have a fantastic Sunday, everyone. I will see you next Sunday for the next love forecast for next week, and I will see you tomorrow for our daily forecast. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.